Good morning. Let's say another prayer. God, we ask like Solomon for discernment to know good from evil, for we often do not know what is good, better, or best. We ask for wisdom to know your ways and to know what is right. We ask this because we trust that you care. Amen. There is trouble for me when I have read the Bible too literally too often. And being literal almost got my firstborn killed one time. We were in Brewster, New York. It was a fall festival, great cool weather, and we were walking down the street, and Jonathan had a treat. And he ate up his treat and threw the wrapper on the ground. Now, I was raised in a family, we did not throw trash on the ground, and it was super embarrassing to me. And I said, "What are you doing?" in a very stern voice. I said, "You pick that up right now and throw it in the first trash can you see." And he bends down, picks it up, looks up, sees a trash can, and makes a mad dash for the trash can. It just happened to be across Highway 6 in Brewster, New York. And he, at this little height, didn't see that there were cars coming right on the other side of the parked car. And I snatch him by the collar and repeat my question, "What in the world are you doing?" "I'm doing what you said, Mom." Picking up my trash and putting it in the trash can over there. Being literal can get us in trouble. My harsh words, I am sure I was harsh because I was embarrassed by him throwing trash down on the street. And he was following what I had said to the T, but he was not following what I meant for him to do. Sometimes being literal can miss the point in the story. The infallible Bible does not mean that everything is literal. Now, in today's reading that David read for us, Solomon's words are so positive about his father. It makes me think a little bit about children on the playground when they say, "My daddy is stronger than your daddy." We're not always exactly accurate, even though we're very passionate. Solomon says, "My father, King David, walked before you, God, in faithfulness, in righteousness, and in uprightness." But how do those words correspond, reconcile to what Jeremy said last Sunday about King David and all of the complications in his families? The extreme sibling dysfunction. When we place King David on a pedestal, we are putting him where no person belongs. Yes, he was a man after God's own heart, but that probably says something about God's heart, not about who David was. Because David fathered 6 children by 6 different women in 7 years. And that falls very short of God's plan for families, for a person to leave their parents and to cleave to their partner for life. I think if we compared family trees of our world today to the family tree of King David, we would have very, very complicated family trees. David's lust and unfaithfulness and his scheming to cover up his sins, Solomon shows his words are a bit too idealistic for that situation. But David, just like each person here, is a broken person, and our heart's desire is not what we carry out. We all have parents who are imperfect. They have not been there at times when we needed them. They have been too harsh sometimes. And we, like them, can join Paul and say, I do not understand what I do. For what I want to do, I do not do. But what I hate, I do. Each of us have had imperfect parents. Each of us are imperfect parents. If we are parents. Some of us aren't parents yet. But no matter what Solomon said about King David did not walk in his own faithfulness. He did not walk in his own righteousness or his own uprightness. King David, the Apostle Paul, you and I, we walk in God's faithfulness. God is faithful. God is righteous. And God is upright. And the fear of the Lord begins with that realization. We are not going to get it together and accomplish it. But God has it together and has accomplished it. We recognize that God is not going to be persuaded by darkness or despair or death to give up hope and love and grace. Those are steadfast traits of God. Our ways are not God's ways. Our understanding falters. We receive grace from the one who loves us in the midst of all of those imperfections. In one of our readings today, it says that that those who seek the Lord shall lack no good thing. That is not because we figure it out, but that is because God is with us. God is the source of all wisdom. If we want to be wise, we can seek him and know that we do not have to be God. In Proverbs, Solomon says, the beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. Though it cost you all you have, get understanding. And we do that by seeking God. Amen.